Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm Tamara. Today I'm going to be sharing some quick and easy and delicious meals that I have made for my family over the past month. I'm finally getting around to getting this footage out for you guys. This is literally one of my #1 requests in my comments to share more meals with you guys, and I'm definitely trying to do that. But let's go ahead and jump on in, and I hope you enjoy. Up first is a quick and easy one, homemade chicken Alfredo. This is definitely a go-to for us on a busy weeknight. It is so simple to put together. I am going to be grilling my chicken. I'm going to go ahead and season it up and then just sit it to the side for a couple minutes until I need to grill it. I'm just giving it a rub down on both sides with some olive oil, and then I'm going to season it with some Italian seasoning, minced garlic, salt, pepper, and some onion powder. You season with your heart and use whatever your family enjoys. If you have never tried making homemade Alfredo, you are definitely missing out. It is so simple, minimal ingredients. You definitely need to give it a try. And you probably already have most of these ingredients on hand to begin with. For me, these are all pantry staples or fridge staples, so I always can make a quick Alfredo whenever I need to. So to that stick of melted butter, I just added in a little bit of garlic, minced garlic, and then I'm just seasoning it up. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, Italian seasoning. You season with your heart. And I'm just gonna kind of stir that around a second and let that get fragrant. And then we are gonna add in some heavy cream. Now, I've been making this a while, so I don't measure anything. If I can find like a recipe with measurements, I will add that to the description box because I know some of you guys need that. But for me, I just go by the look of it and, taste test it. That's kind of how I do it. So once that gets fragrant, as you can see, I'm adding in my heavy cream, and then you are going to just let that come to a simmer. You don't want to boil it, don't let it go too hot, just kind of, a light little simmer. Once you start seeing those little bubbles on top, you can go ahead and add in some cheese. The cheese just depends on what I have on hand, honestly. Most of the time I do Parmesan and mozzarella. Sometimes I just do Parmesan. Like I said, it just depends on what I have on hand. And then like to this night, I ended up adding in some spinach. You don't have to do that. Y'all know I try to sneak in veggies where I can with the little one. Once that starts thick, once you add your cheese in, it's going to start thickening up. Just, keep whisking it and make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And then make sure that your heat is not too high because you can scorch it. But it'll just start, thickening up and coming together. Sometimes if it gets too thick, you might want to add a little bit more cream. Just kind of, like I said, that's just one of those recipes that I just go by the look and taste of it to get what we're looking for. But here's everything. We've got our grilled chicken, our spinach Alfredo. I also cooked up some garlic bread. This was so delicious. Definitely a quick meal for us. Up next, I'm going to fix some pork tenderloins with some sides. I'm going to go ahead and get the sweet potatoes in the oven because those will take the longest. I've just got 2 sweet potatoes there. I've just gave them a good wash. I'm rubbing them down with some olive oil, and then I just sprinkle them with a decent amount of salt, and I put them directly in the oven as is, right on the rack, 400 degrees until they are cooked through. Of course, it's just going to depend on how big your potatoes are. These took quite a while because they were pretty hearty potatoes. I got such a good deal on these pork tenderloins. I had to pick these up. This made a really cheap meal for us. So I kind of found a marinade inspiration. I'll have that recipe linked down below. It was like a garlic, balsamic, and you guys, it was absolutely delicious. And I also made a balsamic glaze. I'll have that video linked down below as well. I did accidentally let it reduce a little bit too much, but the flavor was so good, and I'm definitely gonna make like a version of this again. I think that this would also be good with chicken. So if if you're not a fan of pork, I would try it with chicken, but I will have both of those recipes linked down below. But I'm just kind of going off of that recipe to just kind of coat these, and then I will just put these in a oven safe baking dish and get these both in the oven. I did them the same as the potatoes, 400. It's really just going to depend on the thickness of your pork, for how long it's going to take. You just want to make sure that the internal temperature is 145 for pork. But I'm telling you, these were so good. And we don't normally have pork a lot, but y'all seen the price of those. I couldn't pass these up, and I wanted to try something different, and this was definitely a winner. I'm also going to make some cheesy broccoli to go with this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get my broccoli cooking. And then here is me making the balsamic glaze. I've just added in balsamic vinegar. You're going to add in some brown sugar, and then you're going to bring that to a boil, reduce to a simmer, and it's just going to thicken up and get nice and thick and make a glaze that I will pour over the pork once it's done. Once the broccoli was done to our liking, I just drained off that liquid, and then I'm going to add in some heavy cream. Now this is another one of these that I don't have a recipe for. I just go by the look of it, give it a taste test. You know how it is. I always encourage you guys to just get in the kitchen, play around with it, have fun. I feel like that's really how you kind of just if you get in there and just start doing it, you're going to learn. Yeah, you're going to have some fails, but that's part of it. Like, you have to learn. Like, even with me, the way I have changed myself, like with cooking, I've had a lot of fails, and y'all have seen a lot of those because I share real life and I even share the fails around here. But you've got to get in the kitchen and just try, and I feel like there's just so many things that I don't follow recipes for. Like, I just get in there and I do the thing and I just get to cooking. So I have added heavy cream. I've added some seasonings, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Those are like my go-tos. Season with your heart. And then once that heavy cream starts heating up, I am going to add in some cheese. I normally do just whatever I have on hand. I think I did Colby Jack and Monterey Jack for this one. But honestly, any cheese is going to be good in broccoli, if I'm honest. But I just kind of stir everything together. That cheese is going to melt. And then if it gets too thick, I just add in a little bit more heavy cream, or you can even add in a little milk. Like I said, it's just one of these ones I just go by the look and then give it a taste test and see if it needs any more seasonings or anything. The pork is done. I'm going to let it rest for just a couple minutes and then I cut it. I always like to do that. If you cut it directly, even if you grill something, if you cut into it directly, you're going to lose all those juices. So if you give it a little bit, 5-10 minutes, let it sit there and rest, those juices are all going to stay in and it's going to be delicious. But once that rested, I just cut it up and then poured that glaze over top. We have got our sweet potatoes. I set out some butter and brown sugar. We've got our cheesy broccoli, and this was absolutely delicious. Next up is another go-to of ours, quick and easy weeknight meal, is chicken fajitas. I've got a few chicken thighs there that I have just cut up, and I'm just kind of adding my own fajita seasoning. As you can see, I'm clearly not measuring, but my inspiration I will have a link down below for you guys. I am just going to give these a good rub down, make sure everything is well coated, and then I'm going to cover this and put this in the fridge for about 30 minutes just to let all of those seasonings come together and let everything marinate. to my electric skillet, I'm going to add in 1 green pepper and 1 red pepper. Of course, you can use any colors that you want to. We like our peppers cooked down a little bit more, so I always add those in first, give those a little love, and then I add in the onions. You can season this if you want to. Sometimes I add salt and pepper, sometimes I don't, but where we season the chicken really well, you're going to get a lot of that flavor anyways, and let's be honest, onions and peppers alone give a really good flavor, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. But I'm just going to let those cook down to our liking, and then I kind of push them aside, add that chicken in, and then I'll kind of just start mixing everything together. And you just want to continue cooking this until your chicken is cooked through, which that would be an internal temperature of 165. Other than having to marinate the chicken, this meal took no time to throw together for my family. To go along with it, I made some salsa rice. I have already shared that, and I will have that video linked down below for you guys. I sneak in some cauliflower rice in there, and nobody ever knows. Of course, we've got all of our fixins, and then I also made some homemade tortillas. I do have that in a video as well, so I'll make sure to have that linked down below. Last but not least, a good old pizza night. This is something that we have weekly, regardless if it's like calzones or stromboli, or just pizza like this one. We normally have some sort of a version of this once a week, but that can, still get kind of boring sometimes. And so this night, I actually needed to use up some things in the fridge that, some toppings, and these pizzas ended up turning out better than I expected. We did 1 meatball, and then we also did 1 with chicken and spinach with like a red sauce. Normally if I do like a chicken style pizza, I do Alfredo. So if you've not tried it with like a red sauce, it was really good. Both of these were so good. We had company over this night, and they even enjoyed them. So sometimes just changing up the toppings can kind of make a difference whenever, you get into the routine of making things, every single week. Your family enjoys them, they're easy, and, it can just be your go-to meals, but just changing little things about them can, kind of just freshen things up, and it doesn't feel so repetitive. So we're going to make 2 pizzas. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get this pizza dough going. I will make sure to have the recipe linked down below. Now, the recipe that you will see linked down below is a bread machine recipe, but as you see, I did it by hand. I've done it both ways. It really just depends on if I'm lazy or not, but this recipe I do is for a double batch, so I just divide it up and make 2 pizzas out of it. Y'all don't judge me on the way these crusts look, because they were looking rough, but they tasted good. I'm going to add on some pizza sauce to both of these. I just use my home canned. And then we do like light sauce, so that's, a reason why y'all don't see a lot. Of course, just make it how you want. One of these, I'm going to do sliced meatballs and some pepperonis. And then the other one, I'm going to do chicken, spinach, mushroom, and some fresh mozzarella. And when I tell you that one was so good, it was. Well, both of these were good, but the chicken, spinach, meatball, mozzarella, that's a mouthful. It was really delicious. Even my father-in-law, that's not like a big fan of chicken. He's more of, of a red meat eater. He even said it was really good. But I'm just going to get all of the toppings added on, and then we'll just get these in a 400-degree oven for about, 10, 15 minutes. I honestly love cooking on this stone. I've had people ask my pans. So this stone right here is from Pampered Chef, and it used to be like a light tan, and now it is well loved and well seasoned, and nothing sticks to it. It is my pride and joy. I honestly need to get another one, but I'm intimidated by having to season it because I've got this one so good. I just don't want to have to put in the effort for the other one. And then this pan, I also get a lot of questions on, and it is a USA brand pan. It used to be silver, and now it is well loved, and it looks like cast iron now because I have, really got it good and seasoned. I got that as a wedding gift, so it is almost 11 years old. Yeah, because we will be married for 11 years this coming August. So it is very old and well loved. And that is it. That wraps up today's video. I really hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some new meal inspiration, just some meal ideas, simple, quick and easy, nothing fancy over here. And like I said, just get in the kitchen and have fun, play around, just feed your family. That's all that matters. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.